Hello everybody, welcome back to Simple Art for Adults. My name's Erin and I realized that it's been a while since I've made a video again. But we're going to go ahead and give it an attempt today. I do have a couple hours on my hands before my children come home. And I do want to get some more work done on this lovely picture out of Maskara by Mardel Rubio. I'm loving, loving, loving all the green. I did ask you guys for some of your opinions as far as other colors to use in this, and the responses kind of varied from grays and purples and oranges. Now I did decide that I do want to put some purple in here, but I think that the background is actually going to be my purple. So that is what I'm going to try to do. I'm just not 100% certain how I'm going to manage to do it yet, but we'll see. I also just wanted to point out, I have this lovely little coloring glove that was sent to me by Donna Flutie, and just so you guys can see, it just goes on like this, right? Like that. It's kind of like a backwards bowling glove, and then when you color, it doesn't smear quite as much. Now, I'm sure you guys could probably see over here a little bit where I do have some smearing. I don't stress it too much. It happens with the Prismacolors. There's not a whole lot really that you're going to be able to do about it. So I'll try not to worry about it a whole lot. So I do want to make my background here purple. So I've got my Prismacolor case upside down. There we go. So I've got my Prismacolor case here. And I just need to figure out, apparently there's coffee on my desk too. I just need to figure out which purples I want to use for this. And I don't think I want the pink ones. I think I want the more purpley ones. So I think I'm going to go with gray lavender, lilac, and probably Parma violet. I think those three are a good transition. So we've got gray lavender, lilac, which is getting a little small, and Parma violet. I think I can use this for now without an extender, so we'll see. I think what I want to do is to try to do like a circle around here where it's lighter, and then have it like gradually start dark down in the corners and have it gradually get lighter up toward her face. I think that's what I want to try to attempt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start here, and I'm going to use light layers. And like I said, there's some green that's smeared outward, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. We're just going to color right over it. I tried to erase it the best I could, but as nice as the paper in this book is, when you erase on it, it tends to damage it, and I don't want to do that. So I'm just starting with the lightest color. I'm just going to put down a base layer, and if you see like lines where it overlaps at this point, you know, it used to stress me out really badly. I used to think, oh great, now you're going to be able to see all my pencil lines. But honestly, with the following layers, you won't be able to see that nearly as much. So, because it will have multiple layers, and I will end up going back over it, more than likely with the blender pencil, or maybe even Gamsol since it's a bigger area, just to kind of help push that color down into the tooth a little bit better. So how has everybody been? Things around here have been busy as usual in my household. We had a bit of a stomach virus that went around the kids this weekend, so that kind of took away from my ability to get much done. That, and I also had some friends who came in from out of town to visit, which was different. This, I can't tell if it's a gap. I think it is a gap, like these. I'm just going to color it like one because I think that's what it is. So yeah, it's been busy. So Friday, we went out for a while, Saturday night, because my one kid who had been sick, she got to feeling better and everybody was okay. So we went out for a while to go hang out with some friends on Saturday. And then Sunday, which was last night, and my son was saying that he didn't feel very well. So he was throwing up all day yesterday. So I felt kind of bad for him. Now, I could have probably done this with pastels, but it's been a long time since I've done a pencil background, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And again, I'm just using like really light strokes, just trying to get the color down. I'm going to put the lilac all over. Because once I come back in with my other colors, it'll help the lilac actually having that base color down. For me, I think it really helps the Prismacolors blend. When you put one color over another, it makes it easier. It's like it's easier to kind of smush the waxy bits together and make it blend. So once I get this down, then I need to figure out where I want the darker colors and how I want them to kind of approach her face. I don't know. This has been a tough picture, and I think one of the things about, I mean, his artwork is beautiful, don't get me wrong. It's just that sometimes it's really hard to look at these images and know for certain what's what. It's like you really have to guess sometimes as to what you're coloring. And then, so I had asked in the group, and a bunch of you guys sent me over to Instagram to go check out some of these pictures that have already been colored, and some of you sent me to Mardel Rubio's Facebook group, which was also incredibly helpful. So I did manage to find a couple examples of this photo done, and I really, really liked what I saw. There was one done in blues and pinks that was just beautiful. But I decided to make mine a green goddess. I was just in the mood for green. So far, so good. I'm hoping it doesn't look all grainy like that when I put the video up, because it doesn't look as grainy in real life as it does on the screen right now. I'll get rid of my little flag over here. So you guys have been doing some pretty awesome things in the group. I've been watching some of the things that you all are coloring and posting, and you're doing some beautiful work. I've seen some of you guys working out of Maria Troll's new book, which is always nice to see. So a fairy godmother actually sent me that book, and I received it in the mail this morning. So I'm actually really excited to dive in and color in it. And I also got Hidden Paradise, which is nice. That one's been on my wish list for a while now. It's just such a pretty book, and the pictures are so unusual, kind of like these. And I like things that are more unusual. I'm just going to work on the top half of this, I think, today, so we can actually get some blending in there. I may actually have to get my pencil extender out before this page is done. I don't have much of my poor little lilac left. I do have extras though. I have a whole other 72 set of Prismacolors, and then I have a whole bunch of my favorite colors that I ordered open stock from Blick. And I got them all, and I have like this whole huge box of just pencils. And I had no idea where I was going to keep all of my duplicates, the ones that I ordered so I wouldn't run out of certain colors mid-project. And I decided that that would be the perfect use for my polychromos tin that I did not want to throw away. So that's what I'm using that tin for. All of my All of my duplicate Prismacolors, polychromals are all in there. So I feel better about it. I feel like it's being used appropriately. Someday when I get around to cleaning off my desk, I'll probably end up taking them back out and then just using the tin like as a display. Because people have told me before when I've used the tins as displays that it looks nice. So, and a good way to decorate my desk. Yeah, so as you guys can probably tell, I'm really not trying to be too precise with this first layer. It really doesn't make a lot of difference. By the time I come back through here and burnish and blend, you're not going to be able to see any of those strokes anymore. Okay, so I'm satisfied with that. Oh, actually, no, I meant to start with the gray lavender and I started with lilac instead. That's okay. We'll just pick a darker color for the darkest purple. Because I actually like that color. I think it looks nice. Okay, so for this, you know, I want this up here in the corner. And this is going to be the Parma Violet, which is just a hair darker than the lilac. Let me turn my paper here. And I'm going to go very, very light with this because what I want to do is watch the colors build up so I know when to stop and like how far down I want the different colors to come. So like for this, I want to bring it down to probably like right about here. Just have the very, very tippy edge of these little open spaces be a slight bit darker. Because again, I want the lightest area to be kind of like around her face. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then like from here, and then all of this can be the darker. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing anymore, can you? Move everything out of the way. All of this can be darker. This too, this little crevice in there. And then I'll have to find an even darker purple, and that'll just go like right in the very corners and maybe a little further up down at the bottom. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I'm using the side of my pencil, so if I get outside the lines a little bit or color over an area that I don't mean to, that's okay because it's really, really light. And I'm just using the side of my pencil so that I don't accidentally go too dark. If I do that, I'm not going to be able to get more layers down, and then I won't be able to blend it out, and then I'll be sad. Okay, so this is getting darker. That's fine. I don't want it to be too dark over here, so what I'm going to do I'm going to try to leave the light coming out like this, just kind of like I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that line. But that'll be pretty much where the lighter part goes. And the rest of it will all be the Permaviolet. Oh, the phone is ringing. I will be back with you guys in just a minute. Alright everybody, welcome back. Sorry for that interruption again. It seems to happen every time I sit down to make a video. The good news is I did go and get the books I got in the mail today. Let me zoom out a bit. My camera's a little bit wobbly. So this is the new one by Maria Troll, which is Nightfall. I'm not going to do a full flip through. I'm sure you guys have already seen this. But what I like about this book, there's two things I really like. And the first one is that she's put more people in it. And I like it that she's done that. I like to color faces. It's going to give me some more practice on that. I think that's really, really neat. There's a few in here that just really, really... Like this one is going to be so neat. I can see that being done in rainbow colors or like galaxy colors. And the other thing I like is this. It tells you what the names of the plants are. So if you want to color them realistically, you can go back in through the book, come back here, find out which page it is, and then go look that up, like Google it or whatever, and then color it. So I'm really excited about this. And then there's also the Hidden Paradise that I got from a fairy godmother today. This book, I've had this on my wish list for so long. And the pages, and you can probably see why. If you guys haven't seen this book yet, the pages are just beautiful. They're beautiful. And I like how like some of it's partially grayscaled and some of it isn't. It's going to make it so much easier to color the hair and things on these pretty ladies. Like I said, I'm not going to do the full flip. This is going to be fun. I'm going to color him green and then the mushrooms in reds and browns. I'm really excited about this book. Like, look at this hunk of burning love. Check him out. It's not every day you see good looking men in these books. It's usually women. That one's nice and creepy. I'm really excited to color in this. So, you know who you are, Fairy Godmother. Thank you very much for sending me these. They will get much, much love. Move those out of the way. And we're going to go back to coloring in Maskara for right now because I really want to see if I can get some work done on this background. Alright. So the unfortunate thing is I have not had nearly as much time for coloring since I've moved, and I knew that was going to happen because we improved our living situation a great deal. We live in a much nicer house, in a much better neighborhood, and a much better school system. But as a lot of you guys probably know, improving your situation also increases your bills, which is okay because I was given an opportunity through my job to take on some more work along with more responsibilities, and that's great. I don't mind doing that whatsoever. It's just that it comes at something of a price, and then that's my my coloring time. I do have some time to color here and there, and I'm really trying to get into some kind of a routine, guys, where I know that I can color, at least every other day for a little while, and make a video once a week or so. It's just not happened yet. I'm anticipating the day that it does. I really want it to happen. I really want to get in some kind of a schedule and routine to where I know what I'm going to be doing each day. No amount of journaling, keeping planners, anything like that is helping at this point because it's still, I've been here for a couple months, but it's just still so new to me that it's hard to really do it. Okay, so instead of the gray lavender, I don't want to do that. That one's too light. We started with lilac, and then we've got Permaviolet. And I think that the other color I want, I'm going to use the regular violet instead. And that's going to be my darker color. And toward the bottom, I may actually go a little bit darker still and use the dioxazine purple hue just as some just a little bit. So let's go ahead and sharpen this one up a little bit now. And this is going to go in the corners. I don't want a whole lot of this color at all. I'm going really light. And I'll worry about blending the colors together better once I get in with more layers. And that's the wonderful thing about the paper in this book, is that it takes layers beautifully. And I started with the Prismacolors because I haven't used them in so long, but I am really excited to put my polychromos in this book. Layers for days, guaranteed. I don't know about you guys, but trying to color all the way up to the edge of the page is a pain in the behind for me. This is going to be my darkest part, so I'm just going to try to go ahead and get that in there, so I don't have to come back and color on that corner anymore and tear it up. There. So that'll be my darkest area right here. And I won't have to come back, because as you can see, the more I try to color on it, that more the paper's starting to curl. And I don't want that. And this is also going to be the darkest area in this corner up here. Okie dokie. Answer my Facebook message here. My best friend's blowing me up. There. Told her I'm making a video. She's going to have to wait. Okay, so I've got my violet up here. And I think I've got that down about as far as I want it to come. So we're going to have the violet just up here in these corners, just to kind of emphasize the lighter part around her face. And then I'm going to have it more violet, like the darker violet, up down at the bottom. And then I may even come in with a darker color still just down at the bottom. Because what's going to happen is, if I make it darker down here and I put like the little darker areas up here, it's going to make your eye go right to her face. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do with it. It's been a long time since I've done anything like this though, so I'm not real certain how it's going to turn out. But we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to keep going with this. I'm going to get all the violet in, and then I can come back over it with my Parma Violet and blend it out some. There we go. And the good news is that as long as you use like a relatively light hand with this, you can just keep going, keep going, keep going, keep adding layers, just keep going until it looks how you want it to look. It's just patience and training yourself to not have a heavy hand, which, guys, I know. I'm still following your all's posts in the Facebook group, and there are some of you who are like, I just can't do it. I just can't be light-handed. Well, you know, I used to say the same thing, and I used to buy supplies for the sole purpose of being able to use them because I was so heavy-handed. And as a result, and I know I've said this in videos before, as a result, when I got my first set of Prismacolors, I absolutely hated them. Because for somebody who colored with a very heavy hand, the Prismacolors, I couldn't make them blend. I couldn't make them do anything. I was doing better with my Crayola pencils than I was with the Prismacolors. And then I watched some videos all about, you know, how to use colored pencils appropriately. And I think some of the best ones for me came from Art a la Carte. And for the life of me, I can't remember her name now. She's so bright and bubbly, and I just absolutely love her videos. She has a colored pencil series that she recorded quite some time ago. And I think that her videos really taught me the most about how to hold a colored pencil, how to train yourself to use a colored pencil the right way. So that was incredibly helpful for me. Alright, so now as you can see, it's starting to get darker back here in this corner, which is what I want. Normally, this kind of thing bores me, which is why I don't do a whole lot of pencil backgrounds. Because normally at this point, I would be just about ready to throw my pencils because it's coloring the same big area over and over and over. But honestly, when I do it on video, and I feel like, you know, because when I do videos, I legit feel like I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Like you're all right in front of me, we're, you know, hanging out at the house, coloring pictures together. So when I have somebody to talk to when I'm doing it, it's not as aggravating. It feels like it goes a lot better. And as you guys can tell, I'm still not being very precise here with my pencil strokes. I'm just filling in the color because you see all that white that's left behind. Let's see if I can zoom it in some without shaking the camera too much. There we go. See all these little white spaces? That's still tooth that I have to fill in. So I don't have to be too precise yet. Once I start getting to a point where I'm starting to lack tooth, that's when I gotta be careful about where my strokes are going. I'm trying to lighten it up just a little bit as I get closer to the area where it's going to meet the lilac. It can be a little bit darker back here. There we go. Alright, and then I'm going to take my lilac one more time. Sharpen it up. And I'm going to come back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start back here in the area where I have the Parma Violet, and I'm going to pull it out toward the middle. And guys, you can do this with any colors that that work together. So in this case, I've chosen purples, but I've chosen more reddish purples than bluish purples, and all three of them have kind of that reddish undertone to them, so that they will all work together. Which is something else to think about when you guys are picking colors that you want to try to blend. Now, I've seen some folks blend purple and yellow together seamlessly, and I'm jealous because it's not something I've mastered. But I've seen it, and it's beautiful, especially with flowers, the yellow and purple blends. Oh, orange and purple would also be just beautiful. It's really pretty. I like it so far. I like my purples. Now, until I actually get in here and start burnishing things and really putting some pressure down and trying to blend it out, you're not going to really see the differences in the colors very much. And that's okay. It's to be expected. Like I said, it's still just like a really kind of light layers. Whether or not I actually get to finish this on camera today, I don't know. I won't do the whole background. I wanted to try to get at least a little bit of it done so that you guys can kind of see my process. My little electric eraser out here. As always, guys, and I've been getting some comments on my older videos, and I've just not been able to keep up with them. I just haven't had the time to go back through YouTube and catch up on all my old comments, and some of which are kind of rude. It's really weird that after videos have been up forever and people come out of the woodwork and decide they want to have, you know, not so nice things to say over just the most random stuff, and I just ignore it. It's like, whatever. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. It's just that simple. But I have been getting some comments on where did you get this and where did you get that. I don't know how long ago it was that I started doing it, but if you guys ever really see me using something in a video, and you're curious about it, I try to put my Amazon affiliate links in the video description box. So this way, if you guys want to go to Amazon and see how much something is and order it for yourself, you can. When I search for it, I try to find the lowest price possible. So don't necessarily buy that one. If you don't know the seller or you don't like the seller or whatever, you don't have to buy that one. You can find one from a different seller and buy that one, and it does still count for me. As long as whatever you purchase came through that link, then it does still help the channel out. Because I did take my my tip jar that I had through coffee. I didn't cancel it. It's still up. I just don't give the link out anymore because apparently that makes people greedy or something. I don't know. So and that's okay too. If it bothers people, I just won't have it anymore. It's still there. But because I don't do that anymore, the Amazon affiliate links that are in the product description, those actually help quite a bit. So if you are wanting to find a way to help the channel out, make a donation, stuff like that, just use those affiliate links when you go to buy things. Even if you just click one of the links to go through just to get yourself to Amazon, it helps. Anything that you buy will help. And you don't pay anything extra for it, which is the really, really neat thing. All you do is buy whatever you were going to buy like usual. But because I'm the affiliate who sent you there, then Amazon rewards me a little bit, which is a nice thing. So, after that big long spiel, the point is that everything that you see in this video, the coloring book, if it's still available on Amazon, the Prismacolors, the Tagall sharpener, this is still my very first Tagall sharpener, by the way, and it still works like the day it was brand new. My electric eraser, the other two coloring books I showed you today, the Hidden Paradise and Nightfall, all of that. You'll be able to find all of that in the links below if you are interested in checking them out. And now I want the Parma Violet back again. It's starting to come together. I like it. So now the Parma Violet's going to come down to here. And here we go, back to the edge of the coloring book. Now I found that if I turn my pencil sideways and just kind of go with the direction of the paper, it doesn't tear it up as bad. It's just the corner every single time. That one silly corner. Now this is all going to be the Parma Violet on the side except for the violet just right there in that one little corner. This needs to be a little bit darker. I don't like, I think that the lilac came out too far, but that's okay. We'll just bring this Parma Violet in just a little bit more. And I want it to make it look a little rounder too. I'm just happy to be coloring, guys. I'm so happy just to sit down with my pencils in the coloring book. You can't see what I'm doing again. Just to sit down with my pencils in the book. It's like, oh, so relaxing. I needed this. There we go. Okay, so just to kind of show you guys my process here and what I'm planning to do for the rest of the image, before I run out of time, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus kind of like on this little area here and show you how I'm planning to finish out the rest of the picture. So basically now I'm going to take my lilac and I'm going to go in with a heavier touch. I'm just going to start filling in that area, and as I get closer to the darker color, I'm going to lighten up my pressure. Just like that. And what I'm trying to do now is really fill in the tooth of that paper. And this is some pretty toothy paper, so it may take a little bit of effort. And now the Permaviolet. Darker back on against here where it's dark. And then move it out toward the lilac, but make it lighter and lighter as I get closer. There we go. And now, because it still looks a little bit grainy, what I'm going to do for that is take my trusty Prismacolor blender pencil. And I'm going to start at the lighter side. I'm just going to use a pretty heavy pressure. And not only does this help you push that color down into the tooth of paper and get rid of that grainy look, but it'll also mix these two colors together and make it look like a smoother transition between the two. Now, if you guys use your blender pencil in this book, please be aware that it will grab and smear that ink, the black lines. So you want to do your very best to keep the blender pencil away from the lines. And some books do that, and I always recommend before you go dive in with your blender pencil that you test it out to see if it's going to work. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like when it's finished, is this. So let's do the next one. Again, I'm going to take my lilac, which is the lighter color. We're going to apply it heavily closer to the center. Then as we get toward where the Permaviolet goes, I'm going to use a lighter touch, just like this. And I'm trying to fill in as much of the paper's tooth as I can with the pencil itself, because it's going to mean less work with the blender pencil. And just so everybody knows, I go through blender pencils faster than any other pencil in my Prismacolor set. I think I'm on my like 5th or 6th one now. Okay, and then the Permaviolet. Darker down here, and then lighter as I get out toward the center. And now, because I have these nice thick layers of both of these colors, when I go in with my blender pencil, it's going to make it a whole lot easier to mix them together. Come back with lilac one more time, just because I didn't like the transition a whole lot for that one. Okay, now with the blender pencil again, I'm going to start in the lighter area. Try my best to avoid those black lines because I don't want my picture to get muddy. And then I'm just going to fill in the tooth. And mix the colors together. I use a circular motion, especially where the two colors meet, because it kind of helps to make that transition look a little smoother. If I use lines, sometimes it will leave streaks, and you don't want that. Now that section's all done. Alright, let me zoom this out so that you guys can kind of see it better. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is what all of the background will look like when I'm finished with it. Except that this up here it's going to be even darker. I've got a third darker color that I'm going to kind of bring in to match the Parma. And then down here, I've already explained that. I'll probably bring the darker violet up probably a little further, just so it's not all the Parma Violet. But this is what it will end up looking like when it's finished. And it almost looks painted, if you guys can see. I hope you can. It almost looks like it's been painted on, because I've got that tooth completely filled, which is exactly what I want. And it's crazy how the amount of pressure that you use in something as simple as this tool will take you from something that looks like this over here to this. And all I did was vary my pressure and then use my blender pencil. And that is it. That's literally all I had to do. So at this point, I think what I decided to do with this, and I'll go ahead and show you how I'm doing these leaves too really fast. I think what I'm going to end up doing with this is I'm going to do these leaves down here because they look like leaves for her dress, the same colors as this. And then I need to pick different colors to do like the bunchy stuff. I don't know what it's called. The bunchy stuff on her sleeves and her waist. And then I need different colors to do the top of the wing looking doodads. And then I've got, of course, the 2 flowers and the gems and the feathers up here. So I don't want to introduce too many more new colors because I don't want it to take away from what's already there. So I'm not real sure how I'm going to do that yet, and I figured what I would do, because I know I want my background to be purple, so I figured I would just go ahead and do the background beforehand, and then that would be done, and then maybe I'll be able to see a little better what I'm wanting to do with the rest of it. So anyway, to do these leaves, it was just 3 different colors of green. So the first one is True Green, which I have absolutely fallen in love with during this picture, and I used to hate it. I used to think it looked like toothpaste. But when you mix it with the other greens, it's really nice and really, really pretty. And then the second green that I'm using is Grass Green. And basically what I'm trying to do is to kind of follow the artist here. So as you can see, he's got some little black marks here that would indicate shadowing. So I'm following those. And then now this leaf overlaps it, so I want to put some of the grass green down here to indicate shadow, where this leaf goes over the top of this one. This would probably help if I zoom in a little, huh? See if it'll let me. There we go. And then we're going to put some down here, where this leaf goes in behind this one. And where, see, he's also got those little black marks. I'm just following those. I'll pull it out just a little bit. And then there's a curl here, so I want to make a shadow there so it looks like it's actually curled over. Alright, and then my third and final color is dark green. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the grass green. I'm just not going to use as much. So we're going to go over the grass green areas. I'm going to use a really sharp pencil because it's really going to help me get up in there where I need to be with it. And we're just going to go around the edges here where he has the dark spots. And it's going to make it look a little more three-dimensional. There we go. And then down here where these two leaves meet, just a little bit. Okay, so now I have all 3 of my colors in place where I want them. So now what I do is I go back with my medium color and I kind of go over where I just put the darker one and bring it out a little bit more. So basically I'm using my medium color to blend out the darker one. And it's going to make the transition between the two look not quite so harsh. And I want to pull that out just a little more so I've got a place for the colors to overlap. And then the same here. Just going to go over the dark green. Just like that. And then finally, I'm going to take my true green and go over the entire thing, the whole thing, even the dark areas. Because that's what's really going to make it all come together. And I'm using a nice firm pressure now with a sharp pencil. I'm getting outside the lines a little, that's okay. That's what an eraser's for. And then once you finish this, if you need to, you can always go in with your blender pencil and smooth things over a little. But it's a little harder with the leaves because they have those little black marks in there. And like I said earlier, the black marks in this book really do tend to smudge. So you have to be really, really careful if you go that route. So like I can take it, well, it's got purple on it. So when you have your blender pencil, if you can see, I'm going to hope you can see. Make it focus. Focus. It doesn't want to focus on the pencil. There we go. If you can see the top, how it's got purple on it, you don't want that in your green. So just kind of take it and color on a piece of paper. Oop. Throw your pencil across the desk. Color on a piece of paper until it's all gone. No more purple. And then you can come in and blend your next color out. Just don't go very hard because like I said, I don't want to make mud here. And that's how I did all of the leaves up here, just with those three colors. And I think that the colors work together really, really nicely too, so I'm pretty excited. All right, guys, well, my best friend is on her way. She went to go pick up some prescriptions for me from Indiana, where we used to live. She was actually over there today, so she spared me the 45-minute trip, and she's going to bring them to me, so I owe her my life today. But it was so nice to sit down and hang out and color with you guys, and I'm hoping that I get time to do another video sometime this week. Whether or not it'll be this, I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. I also started a picture in... Well, I don't know where it is just right now, but I started a picture, the buddy color one that we were doing in, was it this one? Oh, that was Daydreams. But anyway, I've got it put up somewhere, so I'm not sure. I've got some different ones here that I've been working on. This is one that we started, so yeah, I've got like a bajillion works in progress I need to get through, and I actually have the motivation to get them done. I just need to really get them done. Alright, as always, guys, I'm going to put, like I said, the links to everything that you saw me use here today are going to be down in the product or in the video description. So if you're interested in looking at anything, that's where you're going to be able to find it. Other links, like I said, I'm not doing the link to my tip jar anymore. So that's not something that you're going to find in the videos. But if you guys do have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me in the group. You can leave a comment on the video itself. Whether or not I'm actually going to have time to come back and answer those, I don't know. Like I said, I have not even remotely the same amount of time I used to have, so it's kind of hard for me to answer all the comments I get on the videos. So if you guys do have a question or something that you would like for me to know, put it in a Facebook group or something to that nature, and I will get back to you just as soon as I possibly can. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending part of your day with me today. It was a lot of fun for me. I desperately needed this, so I'm really, really excited. But thanks a bunch, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.